Joel Harris was tired, so tired that he shouldn't have been driving at all. It was nearly 3 a.m. and he had been up since 6 o'clock the previous morning.
Too hard. I pushed myself too hard. Thank God we only have 30 miles left.
It was the sort of situation in which an ordinary driver might have been tempted to speed a bit, thinking that by getting home faster he could beat the rain and the fatigue. Joel Harris was one of those instinctively cautious drivers. Joel became aware of the figure at the side of the road before most people would have. As the car drew closer, he could see it was a girl. She was young, about 18, he guessed. She was wearing a party dress. She was just standing there.
Need a lift? You're lucky it's me. You can stand on this road for hours at this time of night without seeing a car. And then you never can tell who's going to stop. You hear about all sorts of terrible things that can happen. Where are you going?
Middletown.
This is your lucky day. That's where I'm going to. Where in Middletown do you live?
8924 Middletown Avenue.
I'll take you right home. No sense in you wandering around town in this dark.
Joel switched on the interior light and looked in the mirror to get a good look at his passenger. Perhaps he had overestimated her age. She might have been only 16. It was hard to tell. She was quite pretty, but looked worn and tired. Her hair, wet from the rain, hung down to her shoulders. Her dress was also wet and rumpled, probably secondhand, he thought. Joel wanted to ask the girl what she was doing on the road at 3 in the morning, but there was something about the way she looked at him that made him feel he shouldn't ask that question. It was really none of his business anyways. If she wants to tell me, she'd tell me, he thought.
Cold. I'll turn the heat up. And here's my jacket.
Thank you.
Poor kid, thought Joel. She must be exhausted. I wonder what happened. Joel drove in silence. He didn't even turn the radio on in fear of waking his sleeping passenger. It didn't take long to reach town, and he found the address the girl had given him without much trouble. It was the worst house on a bad street. In fact, the house was so dilapidated that it looked deserted, and Joel wondered if he had somehow gotten the address wrong.
Is this the place? Is this the place?
Joel just wanted to drive away and forget the whole thing, but he couldn't. He had to try and find out what had happened.
I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour, but I just had the strangest experience. I picked up a girl on the side of the road, and she told me to take her back here. But when I got back here, she was gone.
Where did you say you picked her up
I
from?
believe it was Cherry Road.
That was my daughter. She died 10 years ago on Cherry Road on her way home from a party. She was buried in a Clinton cemetery.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry.
By the time Joel got back into his car and drove away, he had begun to convince himself that the whole experience had never taken place, that it was all a hallucination brought on by extreme fatigue. Things like this happen, he thought. That must be it. He shivered in the cold. Only then did Joel realize that he didn't have his jacket on. He stopped the car and searched for his jacket. It wasn't there. He had given it to the girl in the dress, and she had taken it away with her.